feel the need for speed. Hot Pursuit Remastered. Sorry, that must be really annoying.
Every day, new drivers still show up and attempt to tame Seacrest County and outrun the law. The pursuit for the ultimate drive starts here. Which side are you on?
Originally released in 2010, Hot Pursuit was easily my favourite Need for Speed game and probably my favourite racing game of its generation. It's certainly the one I sunk the most hours into. See, now I do enjoy the thrill of a race now and then, and I enjoy a nice looking motor too. Who doesn't? I've been lucky enough to own a couple of half decent rides in my life, but one thing I am not is a petrol head. Maintaining the car to a basic standard was my level. You'll never catch me tweaking the finer details under the hood, and that's why I fell in love with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit back in 2010. There's no need for an intense passion for four-wheeled vehicles. If they look cool, drive fast and crash hard, then I'm in. Well, I'm hopefully not in the car when they crash hard, but you know what I mean. Developed by Criterion Games, the guys responsible for the Burnout series, and published by EA, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is being remastered 10 years later, to the day. Let's see how it handles. First thing that's always the main interest to me in any remaster, and I think it's the same for a lot of people, is the visuals. How has the game improved in comparison to the 2010 version? Sadly, the improvements are pretty minimal, and I mean the game was gorgeous back in 2010, but it originally played at 720p, and if you're playing on PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, then you can expect the output of 4K at 30fps, or on PC, 4K at 60fps. However, that benchmark isn't that pleasing on the eye. The cars have received a slight makeover and some tiny anti-aliasing improvements, and most noticeable is the car's metallic paintwork, the reflections of the environment gleaming off the back of the car, and car windows that are much more transparent. But I was expecting so much more. The motion blur has definitely improved, and considering Need for Speed is the ultimate game to utilise motion blur, that was a necessity. The road textures, buildings, cliffsides and other environmental assets have all received a bigger poly count, but again, these numbers are just numbers because my eyeballs are left fairly disappointed by the outcome. The draw distance of foliage and mountains, for example, have received noticeable upgrades, with much more detail on the screen, but overall the absolute bare minimum has been achieved to label this a graphical remaster. I don't know whether to credit that to the quality of the original or the lack of work done on the remaster. Sadly, I think most of you know which is more likely. There's been a good chunk of content added though. All the DLC is available. That includes all the additional cars and the 2 DLC modes, the first of which is Most Wanted, which is an open world experience where a team of cops are tasked with hunting down one player marked as Most Wanted. The hunted's allies, on the other hand, must do everything they can to slow the cops down and help the Most Wanted to escape. The second game mode is Arms Race, which is basically a standard race, but everyone in the race has all the car gadgets available to them, which leads to absolute carnage. Additionally, for some strange reason, EA have bragged about other minuscule changes like readability of the HUD, or menu screens and loading screens have been updated. Or my favourite, which is always absolutely essential in any remaster, and in fact, can you even call it a remaster if they don't add the ability to skip a video? Fuck off. With regards to the actual content, this all equates to around 5 to 6 hours of extras, including 30 new challenges. Now, onto the good stuff, which was already there in the original. This game is fun, so much fun. I think we've come to expect a fast-paced, arcade-style, totally unrealistic experience from the Need for Speed games by now, but there's absolutely no shame in that. They fully embraced it back in 2010, and thankfully they've left this untouched, because so what if it looks fucking ridiculous doing a 90-degree hairpin turn at 170 miles per hour? It feels amazing! Set in the fictional Seacrest County, Hot Pursuit is still as much of a white-knuckle, thrilling experience as it was before. Flying past a wall of police cars with my wing mirrors narrowly avoiding the blockade to the sound of my fat, girthy, substantially meaty engine roaring loudly is probably the limit of what my heart rate can handle when I'm sat in a gaming chair. Even failure looks cool. The sound and the ridiculous over-the-top animations when I lost control and careered off the road or T-boned right through an innocent driver was just like, whoa, let's do that again! The game offers both sides in the campaign mode, playing as either the bad boy or bad girl racer, or driving as the badass law enforcers, who have equally souped up cars as the racers. All the vehicles are aesthetically customizable, which again is my kind of racing game. If you want to go faster, you need to win more races to unlock faster cars. The real game within the game comes from the gadgets at your disposal though. Both the racers and the police have a variety of weapons that can be used to either take down the racers or evade the police. Weapons such as EMPs, spike strips, road blockades, helicopters, communication jammers, and your typical nitro boost. These all either have a recharge time or a limited number of uses, which ramps up the high octane thrills, adding a tactical element to each race. The car itself can act as a weapon too, and a well-timed side slam, T-bone or a perfectly executed swerve to avoid oncoming traffic can leave cop cars in your wake, just like... With both sides of the law being on offer, it really does add a whole new element to your playthrough, and just as it's starting to feel a little repetitive evading the police on your 20th race, hopping into a police car to hunt down the racers breathes fresh new life into an already exhilarating game. One of my favourite things about Seacrest County was the diverse environment, the coastal views showcasing amazing sunsets, dense forests and lethal winding roads and blitzing through the snowy mountains. Within Seacrest County, the player has a variety of race modes, such as your typical race involving just racers, interceptors where driving as the police you must take down the racer within the time limit, rapid response, which is basically just a time trial for the police, and the best being hot pursuit, which is an intense blend of everything good about the game. Dabbling in the multiplayer aspects of the game, EA and Criterion have opted to keep Autolog, which is the interface acting as an online social one-stop shop for all racers to gather their info and stats while organising races. The drop-in, drop-out feel of 1v1 races or mass vehicle brawls was one of the main hooks for people back in 2010, and I think it's still holding its ground today. To round things off, this is a review of the remaster, not the original. The original was and still probably is my favourite racing game, and they ticked all the boxes I personally wanted ticking within that genre. However, from the remaster's point of view, there's one box that really needed ticking, and that was the graphics. And it's not been ticked. Sure, there literally is an improvement, and it would be harsh to say that there isn't one, but it's not a substantial one by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not sure why EA and Criterion have released the game on its 10th anniversary and labelled it as a remaster. Why not go with the fact that it's just a 10-year anniversary edition and call it that? Then let us all be pleasantly surprised by the minimal graphical improvements. There's still enough here to call it definitive, and the performance upgrade is much more noticeable than the graphical upgrade. The fact that the game was so much fun to begin with has still made this game worth it to me, and worth it to you if you enjoyed the original. The game is out now on PS4, Xbox and PC. And if you're a PC player, then you're in luck because it's slightly cheaper. No idea why, but it is what it is. It's out on the 13th of November on Nintendo Switch as well. I loved the original, but this is a review of the remaster. I felt like I needed to like this game. I just felt the need.
The need for speed.
But reluctantly, I can only give my favourite racing game a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching guys. If you've enjoyed this review then please drop us a like, it would be hugely appreciated, and hit that big fat stonking subscribe button to keep up to date with all our upcoming content. And trust me, there's some game changing videos coming your way really soon. If you didn't like the review because you thought it was going to be a self-help video on how to kick your need for powdered speed, then you are a fool and should seriously consider rehab. Catch you in the next one peeps, peace out.